Let me start off by saying this. I will never, ever stop not posting about racial inequality because that shit is so important to me. You have just no idea how angry and sad I get at the same time. I feel all these emotions in me, not happy emotions, these sad and angry emotions in me that it's hard to explain to a white person. It's really hard to explain to non people of color because there are a number of times where I would just speak what I feel, how I felt, how because due to me being falsely treated or racial profiling or anything like that. And I have ex-friends where they would be like, wait, what are you talking about? It's not, they're not doing that, or you're kind of misinterpreting it. And they basically just made my feelings feel so inadequate, made my emotions felt so like false, like I'm kind of fabricating my emotions. And I had to think, like, wait, I have to remember that, okay, look, they don't understand because they're white. They don't know what's happening. They don't know how we feel. They don't know how I feel. And obviously, majority of my life, okay, look, when I make friends, I purposely try to make friends who are people of color because they know how I feel. They've been through what I've been through, and we just have this like connection with us. Don't get me wrong, obviously I love everyone. I love the white people as well. I respect them, but the vast majority of the one who I've met, they are just so painfully ignorant. And sometimes it just makes me feel like I just need to punch them in the throat. I don't. But it just makes me want to punch them in the throat because it's hard for them to understand. And it's not their fault. I cannot blame them, obviously. That's just how they are. That's just how they were brought up, and that's how they survive with the privilege that they have. Most of my past relationships, I've been with white females, and the number of times where something would happen to me, and I'm just like, oh man, this person's like being a bit rude to me or being a little bit racial to me or anything. The amount of times that I would get brought down from them, like from feeling that emotion, they'd always be like, you're just overreacting. No, I'm sure they're not doing that. I'm sure they just, maybe they're having a bad day. Look, don't get me wrong, maybe they were having a bad day. But yeah, it's just hard to explain to them how I felt. And if I'm just like, you know what, don't worry about it, you don't understand, and then they're just like, look, explain it to me. Let me understand. Let me try and understand. I would explain it to them, and they still don't understand. And up to a point where I'm just like, it's okay. I'm kind of like getting tired from this explanation, and the more I say it, the more nonsensical it would sound. It sounds to you, and let's just drop it and move on. And they'll get mad, because they're trying to understand, and it's just like this. It's like me trying to hit the golf ball on the green, and it's about to go. It like goes in the hole, but it just hovers over it. That's how it feels every time I try to explain. That's the most metaphorical sense that I can explain in this. But yeah, obviously with what's happening in America, it's just I don't know what to say. I feel sad. I feel angry at the same time, and it's not that. It's just America that's happening. Some shit is happening in Australia as well that no one is even talking about it. Innocent, black, innocent lives still being lost in Australia, in all over the world, and no one's talking about it. And it makes me feel so it just I just want it just makes me want to scream on top of my lungs out up in the building somewhere and be like, why do you guys do this? I was talking about it on my Instagram a couple of days. It made me realize that the friends that I'm friends with, all my white friends, they, like everyone, people. I'm not just targeting mainly white folk. Just basically everyone. They are so influenced with black culture, any person of color culture, and know literally every lyric to Kendrick, J. Cole, or any other those like rappers, or just those African American rappers and R&B singers, and they know every single word of it in the club, whatever. Whenever the song comes on, and if there's an N-word, they would say it. You're not supposed to be saying that shit. You're not supposed to say the N-word. You're not black. They can say it. You know why? Because of slavery. They can say it. But you can't. And they just don't understand it. And it made me realize that those people who are heavily influenced by black culture, people of color culture, they are being so silent right now. They're not saying jack shit. They're not like supporting Black Lives Matter and everything like that. They support All Lives Matter. It's like, shut the fuck up with your All Lives Matter. Shut the fuck up with your everyone bleeds the same color. No, shut the fuck up. That comes from a place from privilege. You don't even know because you don't know how to use it, because you're so fucking ignorant that no one has told you about like how to properly utilize your privilege. And it really made me realize that, like, wow, you're really not gonna do anything. You are so immensely influenced by the black culture, by the black community, getting cornrows, getting dreads, getting all these fashion tips from black community, people of color community, and now you're being silent and you're just hiding behind in your little devices and just being at home, not doing anything, and yet have the courage to say to me, stop posting that shit, it's too much, I'm already seeing it all over the news, please stop. Okay, number one, the shit that's happening on the news, that is propaganda. With the police kneeling down with the protesters, that's just for pictures shit. They don't give jack shit about people of color, especially in the African American community. They don't give jack shit. An hour, 45 minutes, an hour later, they started to shoot rubber bullets, throw tear gases and everything at the protesters. Number two, I will never ever ever stop posting shit about racial inequality. As a person of color, it is my duty to give a voice for the people, give a voice for my people. My forefathers were slaves, and there's still racial inequality going on in my family's own country, and I'm just trying to understand where all these people are who are heavily influenced by people of color community, by the African American community. Like, where are you? Where's your voice? Please use your privilege to help support us. I just don't understand, and it's just I can't understand it, and it really breaks my heart because now I know who the real ones are. Like, now I know who these people are, and it's taken this to reveal themselves, It's just fucked, and honestly, I'm always gonna be talking about racial inequality. I'm always gonna be talking about social injustice. I'm always gonna be sharing my thoughts and views about being a person of color on this channel, on everything on my social media. If you have a problem with it, honestly, unfollow me. Don't watch this video. get out of my life, get out of my face, because if you're being silent and not being vocal about all this type of shit that's happening, then honestly, you're part of the problem. Put as much energy as being pro in the LGBTQ community. You also have to be pro in this Black Lives Matter movement, in the people of color. It's just so sad seeing the people revealing their true self in this time. I'm just like, okay, now I see you. You know, you're all talking shit like that, but when it comes to supporting your friends or anything like that, you know, you're not gonna do anything about it. You stay silent. You know, you're honestly wasting your privilege to try and help those people who need it the most. You know, innocent lives are being lost out there, and you're just staying at your place under the roof and being all nice and warm and comfy, eating all the right food and drinking all this water, and the people out there who's protesting out there, putting their life on the line, we're the ones suffering, you know, and you're a part of the problem. I have a story to also say about this whole matter, and it relates to it. When I was 14, 15 years old, when my family used to live in Sydney, I went to there was one school day. I was just not feeling it. I think, like mentally, I wasn't there. I wasn't concentrating, and I knew like I was just down on something, and I became really good friends with my year advisor, and I said to her, just like, hey, look, can I just step out for an hour? I'm so sorry, but I don't think, like, I'm not concentrating. I just need some time to myself. And I just can't be in school right now. She's like, hey, it's okay. You do your thing, come back in an hour. And then I said to her, I'm like, okay, look, I'm just gonna go to skate park and clear my mind. And she's like, okay, go for it. You know, be safe. Come back in an hour's time. And I was like, alright, cool. Thank you so much for understanding. You're such a legend. I went out to skate park, and a couple of school kids were there as well. More of my age, they were wearing their uniform and everything like that. I think they just like truant school, and a couple of like adults out there as well skating. But we kind of like knew each other just from going to just being at the skate park and everything like that. And then there was like this about like 20 minutes in, there was this like two coppers on their bicycles, like 21 Jump Street style, coming in and just like talking to all the school kids, including myself, like, hey, how old are you guys, blah blah blah, do you guys have an ID? Showed them, obviously, you know, the school ID, and they're like, shouldn't you be in school? And then the other people were just like, oh, no, you know, trying to lie their way out. And then I was just being honest. I just said to them, you know, just like, look, you can call my school, this is their number, I go to this school, ask for so and so, who's my year advisor, I should tell you everything. I need this moment to just have this little break, because I'm not feeling well mentally, and they didn't understand it, obviously. This is your friend's number, this is a false number, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, no, and then they were just like being so aggressive, and I wasn't having it, but at the same time, I had to calm myself, because my dad used to be an ex-cop, and then he told me what to do and what not to do in this situation, which I'm gladly appreciated about that. And they started shouting at me and shit like that, and I'm just, you know, speaking in a soft tone voice, trying to control myself, trying to control my anger, and they just wouldn't understand. And then I'm just like, look, please just call the year advisor's phone number. She'll tell you everything. They didn't want to hear it. They're like, you know what, you're talking back at me, you're shouting at me. I'm just like, what? I'm not shouting at you. And then they're like, put your hands behind your head. I'm just like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. And they're like, get off the skateboard right now, don't try to run away, we know who you are, we got your address and everything. It's like, what? And then a couple of like the adults who were skating over there came up to me and was basically trying to help me. He was just like, hey, you didn't do anything. He was, you know, he spoke to you in a nice way. They were just trying to help me out, and the police, being policemen, they didn't want to hear any of it. They're like, you get over there, go away. Yeah, they just didn't want to hear any of it. And then they just like, put your hand behind your back. I'm just like, why? am I being arrested? Like, yeah, you are being arrested for not listening to what we're saying, to shouting at us, instigating aggressiveness. I'm just like, what? Like, homie, I'm 14 years old, bro. And then they like forcefully put my hand around my back, and then they cuffed me, and they got my skateboard. I was like, look, please don't take my skateboard away. Like, take it with you, with me, wherever you're taking me, because number one, the skateboard was, you know, expensive. I used my own money for that shit. Number two, I was getting like recognized through like all these different skate shops, because I think that was like before I kind of got sponsored from one of the skate shops. And obviously the male white officer didn't want to do anything and just smashed my board into half and just chucked it away. And I'm just like, what's that gonna do? Like, you just chucking it away out there, causing another mess. Like what's I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what to do. I was 14, I was handcuffed, and then this van came in, and then they literally grabbed me by the shirt, chucked me in the back of the van, and I was just like, what is happening? No one actually knows the story. I haven't told anyone. So those of you who's listening to this story for the first time, there you go. I was falsely arrested, and the only person who knows is my mom. She picked me up and everything. Well, no, obviously, it's harsh times that we're living in now, you know, especially with people in America. Look, I respect and love everyone who's trying their best to help the Black Lives Matter movement. And honestly, all props to you guys. You know, keep doing that, keep sharing. We need that. We all need to stand together. And those of you who's being silenced right now, you know who you are. Honestly, just like, I don't even know what to say. I'm gonna say something rude, but that's just too rude to say. Do better. You know, stop saying silent. I'm just feeling very sad and angry at the same time with all of this that's happening. Before I end this video, I just want to quickly say that I will never, ever stop talking about social injustice and about racial inequality. I would never stop talking about it. If you got a problem with that, well, you know what to do. Stop fucking following me, and yeah, just fuck off, because your time is not worth it.